So when is feminism going to step it up and start noticing how harmful this has been? That women who make false claims, false rape accusations, false child abuse claims are exploiting and taking advantage of real problems that happen. And I get the argument, it's the lesser of two evils. I'm on a call right now with 5 guys who are falsely accused of sexual assault, physical assault, all of them accused of abusing their kids. All of it got disproven. And yet our society doesn't really have an opinion about this. When is it going to change? So this is kind of crazy because when it comes to men's development, when it comes to helping people in divorce and custody, and I started working with women on this as well, but when it comes to men's development, I do not like the manosphere. I do not like the red pill. Obviously, I like some of the people in it, and I have friendships with people that are parts of it. But this whole idea that there's men against women is ridiculous, and it's terrible, and it doesn't solve any problems. And for me, who has been coaching men for 17 years, has never taken this approach. And yet I feel that I've gotten better results, definitely different types of results than any man who takes this us against them sort of approach or we're victims of something. And on top of that, not only that, I've specifically dealt with men who are victims of this social problem. Myself, been falsely accused, served a full sentence. It was 8 years later that it was reversed, or not reversed, but admitted it was a mistake. And that I shouldn't have served that sentence, and I am not an abusive man, and I did not abuse my kids, and kids are safe around me. There's a ton of guys that I've worked with on that specific issue, huge issue, and we did not take this approach. But I gotta wonder, and so this is the thing, it's like, what is feminism doing? You know, obviously feminism serves a good purpose, or at least to me, and it also oversteps and gets reactive and crazy, and there's a whole bunch of different parts of it, which... Man, I third wave, second wave, all this sort of stuff, right? Okay, that stuff is, to me, just totally crazy. But the idea of attempting to have a social equality is important. The idea of being able to have women be able to work jobs is important. The idea of, and man, I'll say this, like when I go to third world countries where women are oppressed, I am so happy to live in America or in the United States and for women not to have to go through that. Like, I mean, man, it is one of the most horrific things. Like, it's horrific. Like it's not, and I hate this too, because when women criticize me about like, well, you go to Latin America and you want to be a hero. And I said, no, man, go fuck yourself. Like I watched my friend and I've sat with her for, man, I don't even want to talk about it because it's so brutal. But women go through pregnancies, they go through rape, they go through survival skills of sex, and then they have to bear the burden of that. And it's just a horrible thing. And to use it as some sort of political tool to win an argument, I just have no respect for you, man or woman. And so when it comes down to this, because what I want to talk about is in divorce and custody, we just see it as normal. And then when I'm talking about this, it's like, why are you mad? And that's another video I should make in its own. Why are you still mad? Get over it. No, man, I'm mad because my kids were taken away. I was falsely accused. I'm mad because the woman who helped me in my 2012 case of realizing how bad it was to be falsely accused of abusing my kids, getting a criminal felony charge, and then not seeing those kids, watching those kids be reintegrated. I'm mad that then she tried to use that to cover up her lies. And let's think about this. Why would I not be mad? Now, and I just, for the record, like what I do in terms of spirituality and meditation and giving to other people and humanitarian work, it's a lot. And there's people that do it more than me, but of most of the people critical of that, they don't even come close. And if there should be some sort of scale, but it's just ridiculous because you want to use a scale to be like, oh, you need to just get over it. No, man, I do a lot. I do a lot for men and I do a lot for women. And I care very, very much, very much. And if, man, I'm the biggest proponent of being responsible for your anger and pain. But part of that means you're going to walk with that anger and pain. And why would I not be mad? Why would I not be mad that somebody betrayed me and to cover up lies that were very hurtful to me? decided to take something which she knew was one of the biggest pains of my life, me being falsely accused of hurting my kids being told every day for 5 years or whatever it is that I'm this horrible person, and then watching them be reintegrated in my life. She watched this, my ex. And then when she wanted to cover up her affairs with business partners, her affairs that happened in other people's houses that she was selling or whatever it was, I don't know. We tried to find out. When she wanted to cover that up, when we had to go to court for that, in order to stop her irresponsibility, Steve is abusing the kids. He has this charge from 2012, and he's doing it again, and I'm afraid for my life. That would make anybody angry for a long time. That doesn't just deserve an Instagram scroll piece of forgiveness. That deserves where I take it, which is looking deep within myself, looking into the shadows of all of my psyche of any form. And I'm very actually grateful for it because it was such an evil thing that she did, or at least I see it that way. Maybe I should be more forgiving, that it went to the depth of all the nooks and crannies of the psyche that have been working out and have done a lot. I dedicated my life to it. It's amazing. It's a beautiful thing. But I am still angry. I'm not always angry. I'm not super hateful. In some ways I'm like, well, she can do her own life, and all that sort of stuff. But that happened. When I see these guys go through this, of where they are told that they're abusive men, that they're told that they're evil men, that they can't see their kids are told that they're abusers, and then they find out that their kids are being abused by their ex. Why wouldn't you be angry? Why wouldn't you want to kill somebody? Why wouldn't you want to seek revenge? Why wouldn't you hate a court system that decided that this was okay? Of course you're going to think that. If you only give men the option that they can't think that, they are put in a form where they have to become terrorists. Society, what are we doing here? This is crazy. And so this is where it comes down to the feminist part of things. Feminism. Why are you not seeing how evil this is? This isn't just one woman every once in a while. This happens a lot. Even if it's 1 out of 100, if it's 1% of our population, and it's more than that goes through a divorce or a custody situation that uses your rape, your pain, your beating, the pain of that, the hardship, the stuff that I see of my friends, who have to get raped by a drug dealer to survive in some slum and then raise that baby. They're using that to say that I'm abusive or somebody else is abusive because they don't want to be responsible for their stupid stuff, for their affairs, their gross and sick behavior, for them being unhappy in a relationship. So now they're allowed to rebel and do crazy stuff and finally be cool and be a hot chick or whatever it is. But because they feel ashamed of whatever that action is, they take advantage of the real rape. Man, and I will say this, my friend, my good friend that I love very much, and I'm so, I don't know. I have a heavy opinion about this when people say like, why would you be friends with this girl? You want to be a superhero and feel good for your male patriarchy, whatever. No, man, she's my friend. She's my friend, my good friend. I care about her deeply. When she couldn't feed her child that she just had because she was raped by a drug dealer, she said, Steve, I'll do anything for you to help me. I'll even have sex with you. And she didn't want to say that. But to her, it wasn't like it was this mind-crushing moment and her falling at the feet of male patriarchy and tears running down her eyes. She was just like, no, man, I'm starving. I'm starving. This is my reality. It's fine with me. I'll have sex with you. I said, no. You need help. Let's talk about getting you help. Let's talk about that. Seeing that and thinking that my ex and these guys on my calls whose people that they date, that they, that they've had relationships with, that they've been married to, all that sort of stuff, think that it's okay to say that you're a violent person and take advantage of thousands, millions of years of just abuse that has been happening to women. You guys are the monsters. Feminism, get this right. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not even saying any of that. I'm saying some of you might need to be checked with it. But like this contingent of women who do this, they are monsters because they don't want to be responsible for an action that they're doing in the name of somebody we all know. My first girlfriend who got kidnapped and tortured for 5 hours by multiple men and thrown out of a moving car, beaten. They're taking advantage of that? That is disgusting. That is disgusting. So my question is when is feminism, or the people that really care about women's rights, when are they going to start seeing how disturbing it is that people are exploiting that to cover up their irresponsibility? Anyway, here was another thought that was on the call, and I try and end this with like some call to action, which is like, this is what we do when we have a business. Guys, if you're going through this and you're going through that thing where like a court has judged you for this, man, you need help. You need to get in my groups, and you need the help that we can offer you, and we offer a lot, and it's a good thing. Check those out. You need that help. It's very important. Okay? All right. I'm done with this video. Leave your comments, pass it on, share it. We'll talk to you guys soon.